My husband, that my husband, we've been using some psychology or family therapy. Yeah. And one of the good things about that is that you have varying reactions and varying levels of support from your immediate family members, so that when you're not getting any support, you need support from somewhere to be able to deal with this. And this person, this stranger, is actually our support, and she's giving us strategies for dealing with this whole situation that we've fallen into. So I just find it really valuable, and I just don't know where we would have been without, this professional help.
I think that I guess my comment is the role of this. The family will be supportive and do all sorts of good things. But the other part that they may not do is actually tell you when you're getting it wrong, in the sense of someone in my position can say, hey, look, I don't think you're going in the right direction here or there, and there's an involvement of someone from the outside where there's no other issues attached to it, and it's a cleaner communication sometimes. I have two principles, I think, in terms of seeing someone like myself. One, you've got to feel comfortable with who you're talking to, and often, and I'm sure it happens to me, but people, in fact I know it's happened to me, people will come and see me and I actually say, you've got to feel comfortable. And the other thing is, they've got to sound like they're talking about things in a way that's helpful to you, that actually goes somewhere, achieves something for you. And if that's not the case, and as I said, I know people have come to me and said, look, no, is there someone else I can see? Then do find someone else, because there are 3,500 of us in the state. There's no shortage of psychologists, and then there's the rest of the list of all sorts of other people. And I think it's more about finding the right person than it is necessarily the right profession, or especially in terms of the talking stuff. It's very much about finding the right person. If the GP is managing it with medication, or the psychiatrist with medication, then getting the right medication is probably the important bit. But yeah, absolutely, it does make quite a difference to people to have someone to toss stuff around with and just resolve issues and come up with ideas even. So, thank you for that comment.
Following on from that, do you generally have strategies for people with chronic illness, for example, and illnesses that are progressive, sort of generalised strategies that help people follow on?
Yeah, it's very much so, in the sense that the stuff I had there about finding practical solutions is one of the things that I do quite a lot with people, in the sense of encouraging them to find ways to improve the quality of life. I'm just trying to think of it. I don't have any snap examples that come to mind, but in fact I was cross with myself. I had someone come in the other day that said that I'd seen on a number of occasions, and they had in fact acquired a scooter. This is another person, and said, were telling me how much difference it had made to their lives, and I thought I should have thought of that. And so often it's little things like that. It's not actually the talking to people is helpful. It gets stuff off your chest. It helps you to clarify your thinking sometimes. But often it's practical stuff like that that just makes such a huge difference to people. I saw a man. No, I saw his wife. In fact, he was in a retirement place. And was really seriously depressed, and she was really worried about him. When I say retirement place, I'm talking about complete supported accommodation, not a retirement village, but in a home in a sense. And she was living in the retirement village and going backwards and forwards, and was really worried about him. And then he discovered that there was a group in another place, sort of another organisation, a club or something or other, sort of half a kilometre down the road, that played cards 3 days a week, and all of a sudden his emotional state just improved. He got out, he had something to do, there were some people to mix with, some quality of life. and not that I ever saw him, but she came back saying he's just so much different. So a lot of that stuff I think is part of the story. Looking for those things that just, and often when people end up unwell, ill, limited, whatever, they do tend to see themselves as not able to, and limit themselves unnecessarily sometimes, and often it's for good reason, because they aren't stable enough on their feet, or they can't get there, or whatever. So often there's good reason for it. But I quite like that cartoon about never ever give up, because I think there are a lot of ways to make a difference to the quality of life, and some of them, I mean, I remember one of my wife's distant relatives. She was well into her 90s and could barely get out of the house, but we went up to see her one day, and she was sitting there knitting, and she was knitting these tiny little singlets for the Royal Children's Hospital for the pram baby, and it made her feel good. It lifted the quality of life for her. She was contributing to the community in some way. So yeah, and I mean, there's no sort of one size fits all really with that. It's sort of, but a lot of psychologists, a lot of people would sort of be very much focused on that. I think in terms of that, just the quality of life and maintaining that strategy to do so. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, can I just suggest something? You know, I'm a scar victim, but I'm not a victim, I'm a survivor, and I think that's what everyone needs to drum into their head, not to be a victim, but to be a survivor. And as you said before, just those practical things make so much difference. Like, I can't do much at all because I'm in a wheelchair, but like I can sweep the floor, I can wash the floor, I can wash dishes, you know, and at the moment I'm babysitting my daughter's cat, and to me that's, you know, helping someone.
Yep.
So that means something, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And whatever makes a difference, whatever adds to that quality of life.
Yeah.
But look, I have this other philosophy that unless you're a Buddhist or a Hindu, we only get one run at this. And whatever our circumstances, you've got to make it as good as it can be. And yeah, some people are fortunate, and look, I count myself fortunate that I can still do the runs and things. At 56 years of age, I'm in good shape. But as I said, that can change in a flash. There are other people who are a whole lot richer than me who are travelling the world and having a great time. There are people who are a lot worse off. But wherever you're at in life, it's about making the most of it. Because as far as I'm concerned, the meaning of life is about being happy. And we all have to work out what it is that generates that for us. But for me, it's about, I like me, I like the people I live with and the people I'm involved with, and I like the life I lead. Now, for some people that's much harder, in the sense that the quality of life is much tougher to obtain because they're not physically able to do things and as much as, but as you pointed out, you can still do lots of good things that make a difference for you, and that's important.
Can I add something to that? It's that when you are depressed, to be kind to yourself and don't beat yourself up so much. We all have shit days, but we also have some really good days, and the good days do come. So don't beat yourself up too much.
Absolutely. I have this thing I call start that again. There's very much this notion around in the community that you must never actually retreat to your bed. You must never actually, you've got to always be out there involved doing things. And I think, but every now and then it's really nice for people to just be able to pull a doona over their head and just make the world go away. And if you want to do that for a day or two or three, yeah, good. If you're doing it 3 weeks later, then it starts to become a bit of an issue. But yeah, be kind to yourself. You don't have to recreate the world in 10 seconds flat. So you're allowed to actually not push yourself, is the other issue, I guess. I'm saying be out there involved, but you're also allowed to actually not push yourself, just to be kind to yourself. So yeah, good point.